So I asked a bunch of you on Twitter and on the YouTube community tab to send me questions for a Q&A. And full transparency, I've already recorded this once, but I rambled on for ages and ages and ages, and it was so boring to sit and listen to. I went on so many tangents. It was literally the worst thing ever. So I decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-record it, but this time I'm going to set myself a time limit. So for each question, because there's like 20 questions here, I'm going to set myself the time of answer the question in 30 seconds. And if I don't answer it in 30 seconds, I don't include the question. Bugger off. That's basically what's going to happen. I'm not even joking. I did like 3 50-minute recordings, and that was the entirety. Like, that wasn't just, oh, I did 50 minutes and then tried it again, another 50 minutes. I did 150 minutes of rambling, and I don't even know what about at this point. That's why I'm sat down now, because I've been stood up for 150 bloody minutes. How did I even do that? But yeah, maybe we can use this setup in the future. I need something up here though, like maybe some shelves or something, like just over here. But the problem is I can't have too much there because we have this. You see how close this is to the wall? So we can't do, oh, for fuck's sake, we can't do too much with that. But hey, it's the UK, small spaces. That's a story for another day though. Let's jump in and have a look at the questions you lovely people have asked. So first up we have, how's yours and Sophie's mental health going? Love your content, lots of love from India. Thank you very much to all my Indian audience. My Indian audience are now the 3rd biggest percentage of my audience after the United States and the UK. So thank you to everyone from India that subscribed. But in terms of mine and Sophie's mental health, last year was a lot rougher on Sophie than it was on me. Like, she had lots of panic attacks and lots of anxiety attacks, but she's doing a lot better now. Her therapist has been an absolute wonder and helped her out so much. My mental health's been pretty constant. Like, it's not been great, but I've been kind of drudging through, trying my best, pushing my way through, trying to just focus and be the best I can, and you know, provide for the family and all that jazz. And I think I'm doing all right. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I have my off days where like I might not get to upload a video that day because my mental health has just completely conked me out, but I am trying my absolute best and I think I'm doing okay. Next up is, how was your 2020 and how do you feel about your channel and the way it is? Oh god, another deep question. Why have I put all the deep questions first? My 2020 was all right, I suppose. I mean, it was a little bit rough, but everyone's 2020 was a little bit rough because of the pandemic and stuff, but it had its high points. You know, we got Ruby, and Ruby is a wonderful addition to our family. I got to do some cool stuff with Oddworld, which is the company that makes my favorite game ever, so it was really cool to be recognized by them and also get to work with them. That's a pretty amazing thing. So there were definitely highlights in 2020, but overall it was a bit of a rough year, just, you know, because of all that pandemic business. And how do I feel about my channel and the way it is? My channel's doing great. I'm really happy with the performance of the channel since the end of December. Like, we had a really slow 2020 channel-wise, but it started to pick up at the end of 2020 and into 2021, and let's hope that just keeps going, because I like surviving, but I also like when my channel does a little bit better than it normally does. Next up, how did you get into YouTube? Great vids, keep it up, lots of love from Poland. Hey, and 2 thumbs up, thank you very much, and shout outs to all my lovely Polish viewers. I've told this story before, so I'll keep it fairly brief, but basically I was doing a 9-to-5 job and I wasn't feeling very fulfilled when I came home. I didn't really have any hobbies or anything like that, and then I saw great YouTubers like Dookie Shed and Jay Wits making videos where they were talking super passionately about Pokemon, and I was like, maybe I should try making some videos, because it looks like it's fun and it's something I've never tried before, I've got no experience with. Watched a few YouTube tutorials on how to use editing software and stuff like that, and just went from there. And you know, nothing really happened for 8 months. I got a few people watching the videos, but then the channel kind of took off, and I didn't expect it, but it was welcome. And that's kind of how I got started. Next up we have, what would be on the top of your wish list and why if money was not an issue? That's really easy. That would be a house. I mean, obviously I live in a house right now and I pay the bills and whatnot, but this is rented, which means all that money that I pay on rent is just dead money. It doesn't go to me. It goes to my landlord to probably pay the mortgage on this house. The ideal scenario is to own my own house, but in order to do that, I need a lot more money than I have right now. So it's just a pipe dream at the moment, but hey, maybe one day I'll have enough for a mortgage and that'll be bloody brilliant. I don't even want that big of a house either. 3 bedrooms is fine. Bedroom for me and Sophie, office for me, office for Sophie. Job done. Next we have, if you could choose between $1 million or a Poliwag in bold, which would you choose? That's really easy. I'd pick the $1 million. Poliwag is a Pokemon. It's an animal. It's another mouth to feed, and also is probably quite difficult to train since nobody has any experience in this world with training Pokemon. Whereas $1 million, mate, I'll take that right now. If there's anyone out there with $1 million that wants to drop me a donation during one of my Twitch streams, $1 million would be really appreciated. We've technically kind of had a similar question to this already, but this is Raul, and Raul has been watching the channel for as far back as I can remember, so I'm happy to answer this question for him. How did 2020 impact your channel, and how are you feeling? Well, 2020 was quite good to the channel at the start, then it went stagnant, but at the same time, we were still gaining consistent views, and we were still gaining consistent subscribers, so it was still not a negative thing. And ultimately, then at the end of the year, WTF started to pick up, and the channel's doing better than it's done in years, so it's been an alright 2020. And how am I feeling? I'm bloody knackered, mate. Next up we have, how did you and Sophie meet? This is super easy. We met at MCM Comic Con London, October 2016. Although at the time we weren't really interested in each other. We were just, we just were introduced to each other by friends of friends, as two friend groups kind of merged and introduced everybody to everybody. And she just became an acquaintance. She was just someone that I knew. And every time we went to a convention and we happened to bump into each other, we'd do the whole, hi, how you doing? Oh, what you been up to? That kind of thing. And that was it. We didn't really have any interest in each other, and ultimately it wasn't until like 2018 that we actually started talking more often, and then came to learn that we quite liked each other. So lovely. Next question is, red sauce or brown sauce?
Oh no, I'm not brave enough for politics.
Moving on, we have, when you started YouTube, what was your main goal, and has that changed since then? When I started YouTube, my main goal was literally, I need a hobby. I want something to do in my evenings, and I'd like it to be something that I enjoy. So I started doing the YouTube videos, and I started to enjoy it, and I was like, yeah, this is really cool. And I didn't really think anything beyond that. Fast forward to today, and it's now my full-time job. It's what I do every single day, and I guess that means that I'm a little bit more target-oriented, because I want to keep doing this as a full-time job. So now I have to make sure that I'm making content that people enjoy, and also content that will generate views. But then at the same time, I also really want to make sure that the stuff I'm making is stuff that I enjoy. So what I do is, if I'm not enjoying a series, even if it does make me loads more views than anything else that I make, I'm like, I'd still rather make what I enjoy. And that's all I kind of want. That's my goal out of YouTube, is just to make sure that what I'm making is something that's fun for me while still making sure I can pay the bills. I would set like a bigger goal, like I want to get to 500,000 subscribers or something like that. But honestly, as long as I can survive making this a living, I'm happy with that. Next up is, do you have anything to say to Nat Dexters? I think the only real thing to say is congratulations. Congratulations on such a successful boycott. Congratulations on convincing so many people not to buy Sword and Shield. Next up we have Steven, who says, I'm going to give you an opportunity for a shameless plug. What code should people use when buying G Fuel and Control Freak? Well, it's funny you should ask, Steven, because if you use code ACE, you can save 10% off the lovely G Fuel. I'm currently drinking peach rings, and it is, ooh, bit bloody tasty. And also, yes, you can use code ACE at Control Freak to get yourself lovely precision gaming equipment, like these lovely thumbsticks, like these lovely thumbsticks, and also these lovely grips for your Pro controller on your Switch. You can also get them for the PS4 controllers. I don't know if they do PS5 yet, but you can always double check yourself, can't you? They also do precision rings and gaming lights. Code ACE at G Fuel and at Control Freak. 10% off, mate. Next up is, what's your favorite thing about being a YouTuber and streamer? It sounds cliche, but it is you lot, especially when I stream, because I get to interact with you guys directly. I get to know all about who my audience are and like what kind of people enjoy watching my videos, and I learn all about you guys and things that are going on in your lives, and you guys will come and talk to me, and we have this whole conversational rapport thing going where I have all these extra friends from all over the world who sit and talk to me while I play ridiculous video games and shiny hunt and all that garbage. You just sit and hang out with me during my downtime, which is because when I stream, that's my downtime. That's my hobby. I sit and I stream. Streaming is a beautiful hobby of mine. I really, really love it. And that does reflect on the YouTube side, because I love seeing the feedback from you guys who enjoy my videos. Like, all right, I don't enjoy seeing the feedback from the people who don't like me and therefore will dislike everything that I make, but those people aren't important. The people who are important are the people who watch everything that I make and they enjoy it, and also they're quite happy to tell me, hey Liam, you could do this differently, or you could do this differently. And I love getting that feedback, because the feedback that I was getting from comments was one of the things that I loved about making YouTube videos in the early days, and I still have that today. Next up we have, why did you decide to do Twitch streams? That's an easy one. You guys made me do it. Like, I didn't know about Twitch when I started YouTube. I didn't really know much about it at all. I didn't watch live streams. When someone told me that live stream was a thing, I was like, what? You just sit and watch someone play video games?
Isn't that really boring?
And ultimately, a bunch of people kept saying to me in my comments on my videos and on Twitter and stuff, just like, oh, you should stream stream. You should stream. Do you know what would be really cool is if you started doing Twitch streams? And I was like, all right, fine. I'll make a Twitch account. I will start doing some streaming. I'll figure out how to do it and I'll see if I like it. But you know, I didn't want to guarantee that I'd keep streaming, but I gave it a go. But it turns out I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad I stuck with it, because now I've got this really cool community over on Twitch that it's just such a great bloody time. And like I said earlier in the video, like, streaming has become a hobby of mine and I really, really love it. And it's like my favorite thing to do when I'm not making my videos and stuff. All right, next, what do you think has been the biggest challenge for you as a content creator since you started making YouTube videos? Oh, shout out to Super Nerd Daniel as well. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. He's a bloody good lad. We stan Super Nerd Dan. But to answer your question, the biggest challenge I found as a content creator is staying relevant. And I'm not talking about relevant, like, because there are people who will be like, oh, you don't know relevancy because you're not the size of Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, but I'm talking about relative relevance. Like, relevance to me is getting 1,000 views a day, because that's the amount of people that went to my high school is 1,000 people. So if I get 17,000 views in a day, that's 17 times the population of my high school tuning in to watch my garbage content. Like, that's a great thing. But the thing I struggle with sometimes is when my channel peaks and does really, really well and goes, hey, we're getting like 100,000 views every 48 hours. And then within a week or two, it's back down to getting 30,000 views every 48 hours. And you kind of go, why can't I hit that lightning again? Why can't I make a lightning strike twice again? That's the correct analogy. And it can really mess with your head when you have a period where your channel does really, really well, and then you can't seem to strike while the iron's hot and keep that going. You just, for some reason, it just falls off. I had that with Form Fight last year, where a bunch of Form Fights for the Galar Pokemon, like Appleton and Flapple, was really taking off. And then after I kind of ran out of Galar Pokemon and started going back to the more regular Form Fights, people just stopped watching and it all just started slowing down. And it does hit you mentally sometimes, but at the same time, you just have to kind of push through and go, look, sometimes my channel will be up, sometimes it will be down. I've just got to keep being consistent and trying my absolute best to just push out as much good content as I can. And I'm trying. All right, next up we have, what made you do the WTF moments and when will you complete the Gen 1 WTF moments? All right, that's an easy one. Well, the second part's an easy one to answer because there are 67 Gen 1 episodes left, and that will be 67 weeks then, all being well. You know, unless my mental health falls off a cliff, in which case we might miss 1 or 2 weeks, but I'm trying my best. In terms of what made me start doing the Pokemon WTF moments, I'm a big fan of a channel called Cultaholic. Cultaholic is my favorite YouTube channel, and I literally watch everything those lads put out because I just really enjoy all of their content. They have a series called WTF Moments where Ross goes through Raw, SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite each week and just points out all the stupid things about the plot holes, all the things that don't quite make sense, or things that are a bit unusual in the episode, you know, and just sits there and critiques it in a fun and comedic way. Now, when I was watching it one time, I was like, it'd be really cool if someone would do this, but for Pokemon. And lo and behold, I came up with the idea of Pokemon WTF moments. Next up is, would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 20 duck-sized horses? That's really easy. I'd rather fight 1 horse-sized duck because it would be massive, which means it would kill me quicker. Next, we have, what moment or aspect about your YouTube career are you most surprised about? I don't want to go on about this, but I will say it's voicing a role in Oddworld Soulstorm because it's the most, like, it's not even related to Pokemon. Like, I built a Pokemon channel over the last 6 years, and then the first voice acting role I get is in a completely different franchise from a different company on a different console. Like, it couldn't be further removed from Pokemon, and yet that's an opportunity I've been given because I started a Pokemon channel. Like, that's pretty freaking cool that my career has led me to that point. So that's an easy one. That's surprising because if you'd have told me back in 2015 when I started the channel that that's something that would have happened, I'd have been like, but how? I'm not even making content about that. Next we have, what's your favorite piece of video game music? I'm gonna go with Force Your Way from Final Fantasy VIII, which is the boss battle music of Final Fantasy VIII, because I absolutely love that track. It gets me buzzing, gets me hyped all the time. I can listen to that just any day of the week, and it's just a really freaking cool piece of music. All the different layers of it are really, really nicely done. Like, Nobuo Uematsu is just an absolute freaking genius. A slight alternative would be Obstacle in Our Path from Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, like the remastered version of Obstacle in Our Path, because what a bloody great piece of music that is. Like, it's a shame I don't like the game as much. Like, I liked the game and it was fine, but I'd rather play a Final Fantasy game over playing Xenoblade again, but like, it's still such a great chunky piece of music. It's like the mini boss kind of theme, I guess, but I just really, really like it. Like, all the different parts of it are freaking amazing. Really like it. God, that review of Xenoblade just then was scathing. Next up we have, if you could go back in time and change one thing about your channel, what would it be? Much love. Oh, much love to you, Lupin. Appreciate that. If I could change one thing about my channel, I'd either go back, I'm going to cheat and do two. I'd either go back and I'd basically start my channel sooner, because I feel like 2015 was way too late to be starting a Pokemon YouTube channel. Like, it is so hard to start a channel now. I don't even know how people are even bothering to start channels today, because like getting noticed on YouTube is so freaking hard, because every possible genre is so oversaturated at this point that I would start in like 2008, 2009, if possible, when YouTube was really starting to pick up and kind of catch fire, just so I could get a good start. And who knows where the channel would be now, although I was a lot younger back then, so maybe the adverse effect would happen, and maybe I wouldn't be as popular as I am now, because maybe I just would have never caught on, or I wouldn't have had the right attitude or the right work ethic for it. So kind of a mixed bag if I do that. The alternative thing that I would do if I could go back is I would do variety content from the get-go, because one problem is that I am pigeonholed into Pokemon, and I will forever be pigeonholed into Pokemon. If I try and introduce any other gaming content to this channel, no one cares. No one wants to watch it. And then the problem is people come for that extra content. Let's say I did a Metal Gear Solid video or something, people would come for the Metal Gear Solid content, see all the Pokemon content as well, and be like, well, I'm not subscribing to this channel because it's a Pokemon channel, but I'll click like on this Metal Gear Solid video, that was great. And similarly, if I did a Final Fantasy video, all the Final Fantasy fans would come in and be like, yeah, but this is a Pokemon channel, I don't really want to follow this Pokemon channel, but you know, I'll like the video that they've done about Final Fantasy. And at the same time as well, none of the Pokemon fans that are watching me just for Pokemon would bother watching any of the other content. So it'd be one of those where I can't do that now, and it kind of makes me wish that when I'd started out, I'd just done what some people like Kadikarus, for example, just did reviews of all different games, and like Rabid Luigi does loads of different gaming content, and I just kind of wish I had that little bit more variety. Like, I love what I do, but it'd be nice to switch things up now and again, wouldn't it? Next we have, what are your goals for the future, both for the channel and in life? I mean, life is basically, 2021, I feel like, is not going to be a write-off, but it's going to be a little bit of a write-off, isn't it? Basically, because we're waiting for the pandemic to be over. That's what 2021 has started as, and I feel like until about autumn time, fall time for the Americans, that's basically all it's going to be, is waiting for the pandemic to be over so we can get back to some kind of level of normality. So I'm not really building up any big goals for 2021. I'm just hoping we all get through it, basically. In terms of for the channel, I just want it to survive. I'd like the wave of momentum WTF Moments is having to continue, but hey, if I can reach 150,000 subscribers this year, I'll be happy. And it's looking like we're getting close, but that's the biggest goal I'm willing to set for this year, because I'm just scared that if I set a bigger goal, the channel will just die. But that'll do it for my Q&A. I hope this was shorter than the ridiculous, like, 3-hour version that I somehow managed to record earlier. God, I can't believe I was even going to sit and edit through that. That was dreadful. But hopefully this is enjoyable. Sorry it's out super late, but we're not going to do that many Q&As anyway, so enjoy this one regardless of what time it goes out, because maybe we'll do one later in the year or something like that. I don't want to oversaturate, because otherwise people just ask the same questions over and over again and it gets tedious. But don't forget to use code ACE money off G Fuel and Control Freak products. Come over to my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/AceTrainerLiam, and I'm just glad you're enjoying the content. That's all I'm bothered about. We'll have another interesting video next Monday, probably. And obviously we'll have all the regularly scheduled videos throughout the week as well. So I'll see you on Wednesday for Metromania, but until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.